Good morning, sir. I'm Sujit. Now I am going to explain about project management in Primavera and take a sample project as an example. Before discussing the example, we'll briefly introduce about what is a project structure and we'll briefly discuss about a sample project network and later the steps involved in assigning activities, resources, and scheduling, updating, and analyzing a budget of a project. Coming to the project study, we will discuss about the project which has a fixed duration and also the project which has fixed unit and conclude the topic. Coming to the software, Primavera is an enterprise portfolio management software which includes project management, scheduling, risk analysis, opportunity management, resource management, collaboration, and control capabilities. It's not only used by managers though. Any project professional can benefit from P6 such as engineers, schedulers, and others who are instrumental in planning. Features in Primavera include timelines, risk management, information dashboards, reporting and analytics, calendar and activity views, risk management, scheduling alerts, etc. Coming to the project structure, it can be depicted as below. Primavera consists of an OBS, which is called as Organizational Breakdown Structure, which is under the EPS. EPS is nothing but Enterprise Project Structure. The Primavera software cannot be started without creating an EPS. And EPS is further divided into projects and projects into work breakdown structures. And work breakdown structures consist of several activities. These activities are assigned several resources and expenses. Expenses are nothing but external costs such as consultant services, contractor costs, transportation costs, etc. Before discussing the project, major project in detail, discuss about a sample project. Let us take the below table as an example. This is the normal problem which we used to solve in classes. And after the activities are assigned in the given way. Let us discuss about it in the software. This is the current file where where every project has been done. Coming to the first part, where we have taken a simple example. These were the activities selected according to the table. For each and every activity, the successors and predecessors are assigned here. You can see that activity has been assigned the succeeding activity and also predecessing activity. After everything is assigned, the duration is also can be assigned in the same. After assigning the duration, it can simply be scheduled. Sim After scheduling, the network can be formed as given below. The total float, the earliest starting time, the earliest finishing time, and also latest starting and latest finishing time can be viewed in the Activity Network tab. These are the latest EST, EFT, LST, and LFT. This box can be edited from the Activity Network options. This is the format for the given table. The critical path is shown by a red line here. Even in Gantt chart, the critical activities are shown by red color and non-critical paths are given by green color. This is it about a sample network. This was discussed earlier. This is nothing but the top-down scheduling approach which is preferred by most of the schedulers. Here this is the project and the project is broken down in the form of work breakdown structure which are further divided into several activities. And the activities have been assigned several resources and labor. This is the project, this is the work breakdown structure. For each structure, the activities has been assigned as follows, such as designing, building the pad, masonry structure, etc. These are all task dependent activities. For each work breakdown structure, it ends with a task end milestone event or starting milestone event or ending milestone event. The structure completion is a ending milestone event. Here we can see that duration has not been assigned for this, indicating that this is a milestone. Once you have added the activities and activity durations, it is time for assigning relations between the activities. Based on the experience of the scheduler, we can give the relationships for the activities for based on the predecessing and succeeding activities. Coming to the precedence diagramming method, in the previous slide we have seen that here FS has been mentioned. FS is nothing but finish to start relationship. There are four such relations. The first one is finish to start relationship. And the most common type of relationship where one activity cannot start until associated activity has finished. For example, pouring a concrete activity cannot begin until the set forms and the activity is complete. Start activity. This relationship is the thing where one activity cannot start until the activity has begun. For example, removing damaged piping activity cannot proceed until implementing safety plan effort. Finish to finish. In this relationship, one activity cannot finish until another related activity has finished. An example is a research industry where documentation cannot complete under experimental until experimental testing described by documentation has been finished. And finally, the start to finish activity type relationship. In this, which is not a common relationship, one activity cannot finish until another activity has begun. An example is the run generator activity, where activity cannot cease until the activating power activity is complete. This is generally not followed in civil engineering. Along with the relationship, we can observe another table called as lag. The lag is nothing but the delay in the activity. The lead can be shown by negative lag. Lags and leads have significant impact on length of schedule. A lag describes the required time between activities. In finish to start relationships, the second activity cannot commence until a scheduled period of time has elapsed after completion of first activity. The most common example is concrete, in which lag is inserted between activities to allow the concrete time to cure before the successor activity can proceed. A lead has the opposite effect on schedule. The standard finish to start relationship is very popular as discussed before. The relationship tab method is preferred as it displays and enables changes to both predecessor and successor of highlighted activity. This is the relationship tab. After assigning the activities, it is next our duty to assign the resources for each activity. Resources include labor, non-labor, and materials, which are used to perform activities within a project. Allocation and distribution of resource quantities can be seen from resource assignments window. You can also define a resources rule, calendar, contact information, and time varying prices if needed. This is the resource allocation window, and this is the resource allocated for each activity. Coming to the scheduling of project. After assigning activities and resources, it is our duty to schedule the project. It, it gives a proper relationship between the activities. Primavera specifically uses CPM scheduling, which has the following features such as assigning dates to activities, calculating project date finishes, and revealing critical parts of the projects. Based on the activity relations and dependency between the tasks, the critical path is created along the Gantt chart and duration of the project is calculated. This is the Gantt chart which we get after scheduling the project. These arrows won't be visible before scheduling the project. The red bar indicates the critical path. The yellow bar is the baseline, which shows the actual progress of the project. Here we can observe that our project is behind the schedule. So it has to be like rectified during updating the process. And coming to the updating the process, there are two ways of updating the process. One is auto updating and another one is manual updating. Auto updating is done when there is no delay in the activity, which means that the baseline and the activity paths are coinciding with each other. This is generally not recommended because an activity in most of the cases will not be completed according to the scheduled time. Generally, manual updating is recommended, which is done in the activity tabs. And finally, coming to the budgeted cost and earned value analysis, which is obtained after every task is over. Subcontractors working on a project may want to know how much money may be needed to set aside monthly project related costs. This monthly project cost information may be obtained from the activity usage spreadsheet in P6 Professional. The trick is knowing where to set the data variable to retrieve and present cost on monthly basis. The activity table displays the budgeted cost, budgeted material cost, budgeted total cost of the project down to the activity level. This is helpful to know, but our subcontractor, however, needs the cost of project on a monthly time period to set aside the appropriate funding. To provide this time-phased budget information, we turn on the activity usage spreadsheet. This is the activities usage spreadsheet, and this is the budget which we get at the end of each month. Coming to the S-curves, it can be displayed in the activity table in Primavera. In project management, S-curve is a mathematical graph that depicts the relevant cumulative data of project, such as manners, cost plotted against time. The reason it's called a S-curve is because the shape of graph typically forms a loose shallow S. An S-curve in project management is typically used to track the progress of the project. In today's fast-paced business climate, ensuring that a project is on schedule and on budget is paramount to its success. These are some parameters of an S-curve. All these parameters are automatically calculated by the Primavera from the activity table. This graph can be viewed from the activity table chart. In this graph, we can see that actual cost is greater than the planned cost. Therefore, we have to make some rectifications to bring this graph down. All these parameters are calculated from this graph, and the cost variance must be zero for a feasible project. The schedule variance must also be minimum for this. The cost project index should also be lesser than 1. All these parameters help us in knowing whether the project is feasible or not. And finally, coming to a project, there are two types of durations done for two different projects. One is fixed time duration and units. Here resources are assigned for each activity with fixed duration. The resources are allocated accordingly by the software to complete the activity within given duration. It is generally followed for most of the projects where companies have deadlines. And the second one is fixed units or per time. Here the duration for the resources is assigned after calculating from the estimation and activity time of labors, which is done from many quotation books. It is executed in case of house constructions where deadlines are not important. First, let us consider a project with fixed duration and units. It is done if management companies are provided with deadlines. The experienced project managers estimate the duration before the commencement of project. Let us consider a single storage building for now. Here the duration of all the activities are fixed before itself. Let us discuss how these activities and resources have been assigned for the given project in Primavera. This is the project which is having the fixed duration type. Before assigning the activities, we have to assign the work breakdown structure where each structure is having different activities. For example, structure is having different activities such as designing building pads, masonry structure, roof slabs, and completion of structure. The same way, roof has different activities. So initially, we have to assign work breakdown structure before assigning the activities. After assigning the activities, we have to assign the relations for each activity. Here we can observe that for structural completion, there is no duration. This is because it is a finishing milestone type. Also, we can see that there is no duration here. This tells the total duration of the given work breakdown structure. After assigning the activities, we have to assign the resources. So we have to open the resources tab. These were some of the resources which were allocated before for each of the activity. You can add the resource from this tab where it asks for resource ID, resource name, and the type of labor, whether it's labor or non-labor or material. Also, we can give the price for each labor per day per given duration, and all this can be neglected for now. And we can click finish to assign the resources. In this way, the resources are assigned. Coming to the type of activity, since our activity has fixed duration and units, the resources for each activity have been assigned here. After assigning the resources, we have to schedule the project. Let us assume that the project has to start at December 1st, but due to some reasons it is starting at December 6th. Here we can see that the baseline is behind the progress line, which tells that the project is behind the schedule. Here we can see that the project is not yet started. We can update the progress either in terms of duration or in terms of date. For this, we have to go to the general tab. Here we have to change the type to physical to change the progress in terms of days. Let us update the progress in terms of percentage of duration for now. Let us assume that the design has been started on 6th December and 5% of work is already complete. We have to try to make the baseline and the activity path coinciding to each other to avoid lagging of the project. So if we consider that 5% of work is done and if we schedule the project, we can see that the baseline has come a little bit near. If we assume that the project is finished on 13th January, the blue color indicates that the activity has been completed. And if we schedule the activity for 13th January, we can see that change in progress line. Also, we can see that the baseline has come a little bit nearer to the critical path line. After this activity has been complete, we can go to the building plan. Here, if we think that the activity has been started exactly on 13th January, and if we want to see the progress in between 13th January and 23rd February, based on the visual appearance on seeing how far the activity has come on the field, the scheduler can estimate the amount of activity which has been completed. For example, if you want to schedule the activity for 20th January and assume an amount of 40% has been completed, we can observe the progress here. Also, we can observe that if 40% of work is completed on 20th January, then the baseline and the critical path line have been coincided, which means that the project is on schedule. In this way, we can update the progress of the schedule. And coming to the budget of the project, the budget will be updated for every month as discussed earlier. It can be viewed in the activity usage table. This is the budgeted labor cost which has been calculated by software as we have given the cost per labor for the given duration. For example, this person has been assigned a price of 70 rupees per hour. In such way, the budget has been calculated by the software. Coming back to the activity usage profile, we can see the actual labor cost. Here we can see that actual labor cost is a little bit more compared to the budgeted labor cost. But whereas in the next month we have covered the loss of December as the budgeted labor cost is still more than the actual labor cost. Therefore, we can see here the cost variance is not zero here. You can see a difference in actual budgeted cost and budgeted labor cost by amount of 3,840 rupees. Anyhow, we have covered this in the next month. Cost variance cannot be negative. If it is lesser than the budgeted labor cost, it is shown as zero. Also, the cost performance index is given as 1, which will prove that the given schedule is feasible until this time. We cannot expect the progress in upcoming activities. Also, we can see that the cost variance, schedule variance, and other parameters have not been calculated for other activities because they are not yet updated yet. We can also assign risks to the activities, such as in the current scenario, we are having some risks such as COVID-19. We can go to the risks tab from here, and also we can add any new risk other than COVID, such as failure in structure due to inappropriate design, delay in transportation, etc. This is it for the project which is having fixed duration. And coming to the project which is having fixed units, it is a conventional method where resources are estimated from the given plan and number of labor is calculated manually from the quotations and schedules given by various books, and they are defined in resource assignments tab. Generally, laborers are assigned a work of 8 hours per day. Based on that, the number of days are calculated for each activity. Before the labors are assigned in the resource assignment tab, the total number of hours required for each labor. For example, in this tab, we can see that we require an excavation of 663 cubic feet. If we assume one labor does a work of 675 cubic feet, we get a value approximately of 8 point something. If we assume it, if we round figure it to 10 number of labors and give a work of 8 hours per each labor, it becomes as a total duration of 80 units. In this way, we can give the number of hours of work for other activities in the same way. After assigning the resources and relations, the project is scheduled to get the duration of project. Later, the materials can be assigned for corresponding activities to get exact budget of complete project. Let us go back to the software. This is the project which is having fixed units. Here, before assigning the duration for each activity, it has been done in the resource assignment tab. Here we can see that we have given the resource duration for each of the activity, which has been calculated from the activity table before. After assigning the budgeted units of duration for each activity, the resources have to be assigned for each activity for the budgeted units. Here we can see that for this project, the resources have not been assigned as they do not require any of the labor. We have started assigning resources from excavation. Here we have assigned labor for excavation and for masonry, both labor and mason, as foundation requires concrete. In the same way, we have assigned labor for different activities. After assigning the activities, if you click on scheduling the project, the relation will be assigned by giving arrows for each of the project. This is the progress line which tells that whether the project is behind the schedule or ahead of the schedule. Here the progress line is coinciding with the schedule of the project, which means that there is no lag in the project. Here we assume that every activity will be completed on the scheduled time. This is why the baseline and the activity path is are coinciding with each other. Also in activity usage profile, we can see that there has been no actual labor cost here because it will be updated for each and every month, and even a month is not finished here. Let us finish it for at least a month. If we update progress until the January 3rd, let us see what happens. Here we can see that the actual labor cost has been calculated for November and December, and the project has been complete until December. In this way, we can get the budget for each and every month. As discussed before, we have seen that the vertical blue line is the progress line, which is the status of the project. The progress line can be verified with the help of the red line coincides with the blue line. It is the active project process according to the plan. The red line is ahead of the blue line. The project is ahead of the schedule. If it is behind the blue line, then it is behind the schedule. The desired report which we require can be printed from this file option where it shows several activities which we require to print. This is it for the project. And coming to the conclusion, based on rough statistics, more than 95% of engineering companies use Primavera softwares. In addition to all this, military and federal agencies also use Primavera. From the above conclusions, we can see that the software package is an amazing project management application which is used worldwide, which helps in planning, managing, and controlling project charges, activities, resources efficiently and easily. Thank you, sir.